Hey everybody! So I am coming back to my YouTube channel. I'm so excited. I'm going to be consistent this time. I'm going to show up. I'm going to do what I need to do. I am going to be everything that I need to be for this work. So the goal of this channel is to help ordinary people see God in an extraordinary way on a daily basis, not just when you need to break. A lot of times people use God as a break glass in case of emergency scenario, but every day, multiple times a day, you should be experiencing the presence of God in everything from doing your dishes, to washing clothes, to shopping for groceries. It doesn't matter what it is. God is an ever present help. And I am here. Oops, I'm hitting my microphone. I am here to help everyone to see that. So welcome to my channel. I am Alycia Johnson, and I am so excited to walk you through the process. One of the things that I have noticed over the course of time in working with a lot of people at different stages in their lives, different professions, different walks of life, attorneys, homeless people, married couples, single couples, every nationality. It doesn't matter. We're all part of this human race. We are all part of on this thing called Earth. We're sitting on a rock, okay, floating through space. So we're all here together. We're like a captive audience, okay? You can't jump off the Earth. We're here. So with us being here, we have to understand that we have been placed here on purpose with a purpose. And unfortunately, I have seen this more times than I'd like to say that I've seen it, but I've seen people really waking up towards the end of life. Waking up when, the ticker is tick, 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 ticking down. When they are wanting to call people to the bedside and wanting to forgive and wanting to apologize and wanting to, and then some people don't. Some people leave this planet as mean as a snake, okay? So this isn't for everybody, but for those people that do wake up, those people that do have that personal encounter with God, it's refreshing and kind of, for me, disheartening at the same time, because I'm like, oh, if we had done this like years before, how much greater would your life have been? If you had done this like even a few months ago, how much greater would your process have been? So anyway, that is the reason that I am here, because I don't want anyone to miss that opportunity to live the biggest life possible. So one of the things that the world will teach us, and we hear it, and a lot of times, and this is why I constantly teach, when the world gets a hold of something, watch out. Okay. The world has gotten a hold of a lot of different things. The world has gotten a hold of mindfulness. The world has gotten a hold of breath work. The world has gotten a hold of spirituality. And the moment that the world gets a hold of something, the world is going to hack it to death. The world is going to streamline it. The world is going to market it. And in the marketing, in the streamlining, in the hacking, the world is taking out the most essential parts of the process. But I'm here to put it back in, so don't you worry. I'm going to help y'all through. One of the things that I'm a big proponent of forgiveness, and today's talk is going to help people to position themselves to see God more clearly, to experience the spirit realm more powerfully, and to let your guards down and to allow the spirit realm to do what the spirit realm needs to do in order to support you. That is what heaven is about. Heaven is about supporting us on this journey we called life, about supporting us. It's the behind the scenes support of this human physical journey that we have. There's an inside and an outside to everything. As above, so below. On earth as it is in heaven. For everything in the natural, there's a parallel and corresponding occurrence in the supernatural. You got to understand that. And the world understands, even though the world is perverted, the world is very spiritual. But the world is spiritual enough to confuse you. And there is nothing more beneficial to the world than a half-hearted, lukewarm, half spiritually minded person. Because see, you straddling the fence. You got one foot here and one foot there. And when you're straddling, and I saw this quote one time and it has stuck to me, you're straddling the razor blade fence of indecision. And if you think about a razor blade and you think about straddling a razor blade, let your imagination do the rest, okay? And if you are divided, a house divided amongst itself will not stand. So that is the world's goal, is to keep you divided, to keep you confused enough so that you are productive enough for the world, but ineffective enough to not be used powerfully by God. But that all changes today because our paths have crossed. So I'm so excited. So with that being said, in order for you to live an extraordinary life as an ordinary person, and when I say ordinary person, I'm just an ordinary person. I am ordinary. I work a day gig. I live in a normal neighborhood. I don't have like a 20,000 square foot house. I don't have 3, 4, 5 cars. We don't, have homes here, homes there. Baby, we doing life just like everybody else. But you cannot convince me that my life is not extraordinary. The God encounters that I have, the way that heaven shows up for me, baby, you would think that I was living a reality TV show. You would think that I was like a superstar, because the way God shows up big for me, and God is not a respecter of persons. So God can make you the star of your own show. And that is what I want for everybody. I want everybody to be the star of their own show, to live the extraordinary life that God has promised each and every one of us in the way that we need to live it. But in order to understand this, you got to get your emotions in check, y'all. The world will teach us about forgiveness. And that's one of the things that is a big, like a cornerstone of the work that I do, is forgiveness. Like we do forgiveness over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, because as long as you are here in human form, as long as you are here on planet Earth, you're going to always get offended. You're going to always be upset about something. But the key is to forgive, and forgive quickly. As my friend, Dr. Alycia Johnson says, like, live an unoffended life. Like, try to be as unoffended as possible. Now, it takes some work. It takes some work. And I can't wait. I'm going to have her on here one day to talk to the people. But I'm so excited about that. So the thing that I want you to learn today is understanding, like the world will teach you about forgiveness, but the world doesn't really give you an inside scoop of what forgiveness does. And so when God was dealing with me, because my prayer, I wanted to, God, I want to know more of you. I want to feel your presence. I want to know that you hear me. I want to know. And God was like, of course. Yes. Asking, it is given unto you. Seeking, you shall find. Knocking, the door will be open. I was asking, I was seeking, I was banging on that door. I was like, God, do you hear me? And when God answers, you have to be willing to move. But that's the key. There's a part for you to do, a part for God to do, and a part for others to do. Are you doing your part? One of the biggest blocks that people run into is their anger, their unforgiveness, their jealousy. And that was me. I was angry all the time. I was unforgiving. I was jealous. I was anxious. I was depressed. And a lot of times the world will tell you, oh, you need to forgive because forgiveness is more about you than it is about them. And that is true. But until you get a real good understanding of what that looks like, you just going to keep that at the surface level. But God showed me one day, I was in a meeting, and a person that a lot of people didn't like walked into the meeting, and they always had an attitude. Like they were just angry, always nitpicking, always having things to do. So the minute that you work for those managers, you work for those people that when they enter your space, you're anxious, you're on edge, like, oh my God, what are they gonna say? What are they gonna do? Are they gonna write me up? Are they gonna do this? Did I get here on time? Did I do this right? What did I do wrong? You have those people that you walk in the minute you see them, what did I do wrong? So that's an indicator that you are fearful of them. You have some sort of emotion locked in there when somebody walks in and your whole body tenses up. And God began to show me that's what anger and unforgiveness and all of those emotions do for you. And a lot of times people feel that when they are angry with someone or they are jealous of someone, that thing somehow is affecting them. But it's not. Let me prove it to you. So let's say that you're in a room of like 20 people, right? And you're having, everybody, no, let's do this. There is a room of 20 people. You're on the outside, okay? There's a room of 20 people. You walk in, you're the 21st person. So you can hear before you enter into the room, the laughter, the joy, people are having a good time. But let's say you being the 21st person, you are the one with the unforgiveness. You're the one with the anger. You're the one with the jealousy. And everybody in this room, you're angry with them. You're jealous of them. You are upset to some degree. With you being outside that door, they don't know you're there. So they are living their life. They're doing everything. They're having fun. They're doing this. And then you walk into the room and the room falls silent, right? So you're walking in with all this anger and this jealousy and this envy. And the moment that you walk into the room, the atmosphere changes. And so you walk into the room and let's say you cuss everybody out in that room. I can't stand you. I don't like you. And you get on my nerves. And why you got that on? And so you're spewing out all of this stuff, right? And in that moment, you feel like you're controlling something. So you feel that your anger and your jealousy and your anxiety and all of those things are really making a difference. So you feel empowered and emboldened by your anger, by those emotions. And this is where a lot of people get it twisted. Because they feel that this anger, and it's all rising up in you. You're feeling the energy. You're feeling, but you can see on the faces of the people that you are definitely affecting the room somehow. So if you misinterpret those expressions, you're going to be puffed up. You're going to think that you got some kind of power, right? When God gave me this visual, this was absolutely hilarious, right? So I'm in this room and I'm telling everybody, I'm giving everybody the business, okay? I can't stand you. I can't stand you. So it's like 20 people up in here. So I got 20 insults. I'm just firing, just rapid fire. Boom, 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 boom. The room falls silent. So I feel powerful. They know that I am angry. They know that I'm upset and they better watch their steps because I'm in the room. Then God showed me this visual. I have said what I needed to say. I have insulted the people that I needed to insult, and I have made my presence known. And everybody's like, oh my God. So you see that fear and you see that intimidation and you're just like, oh, I got him. Then you walk out the room and you close the door. And the moment that that door closes and that lock clicks, you hear the whole room erupt in laughter because they like, what the heck? And then everybody resumes their regularly scheduled program. And you have walked in with all this anger. And guess what? You have walked out with the same anger. That anger only affects people when you're in their presence. When you are not in their presence, they're not thinking about you. And because you are not God, you are not omnipresent, you don't know everything, you cannot be everywhere. You literally have to carry this anger, this unforgiveness, this jealousy. You got to carry it with you all the time. Because the people that you are directing it towards, they're only affected when you are around. And let's say that you don't see these people for another 30, 40, 60, or never, ever see them again. And you're still carrying this anger. Baby, it's not concerning them. It's not harming them. Because the moment that you walk out of their presence, you are forgotten. Because see, everyone has a life to live. Everyone has things to do. And the thing about anger, unforgiveness, jealousy, once that energy leaves the room, the atmosphere lightens up. So today is the day that you ask yourself, is God not able to work extraordinary events in your life because you are carrying the darkness that is preventing it? Are you walking around with the anger that you have to become the caretaker of, that you have to continually feed in order to keep it growing and keep it nourished? Are you only living for the moment that you can intimidate that person at the time that you meet? That's a long time. And once God began to help me to wake up to that, I began to realize, and these are real scenarios. I used to be angry with my husband, with the scenarios that were happening in my life. And I was carrying this around. Even if he wasn't in the room with me, I was constantly playing the scenario over. And he was out doing his thing, living his life, laughing, having fun, enjoying things. That man wasn't even thinking about my anger. It wasn't until he was in my presence that I was able to release and to let him know just how evil and mean and just insulting and all of these things I thought he was. But the moment that he left out of that door, it was like, okay, that's behind me now. Let me keep moving. That was the same thing in my work environments. The same thing with my friendships and my relationships. I was carrying all of these emotions just to hang on to them for that 5-minute encounter that was going to allow me to release. It's not worth it, y'all. It's not worth it. And once I started to realize this and understand that anger, that energy, that frustration was only harming me, I had to start to let it go. Because it was aging me. It was affecting my internal organs. It was affecting my mental state. These people weren't even thinking about me. And the funniest thing happened when I started to let these emotions go. When I started to release the anxiety and the anger and the depression and all of that, I started to see more of the truth of the scenarios. And a lot of times people were not doing and directing things towards me. It was God using me to help them to heal a source of their dysfunction. It was God using me to help other people to see who they were and to help me to see who I was. Now, I'm not condoning abuse. No, not any of that. But when God is preparing to use you in some very mighty and powerful ways, don't always assume that it's going to be comfortable. Don't always assume that you know the right category to put things in. So today is the day that you begin to put all of your emotions in perspective. Don't hang on to anger any longer than you have to. Don't hang on to unforgiveness any longer than you need to. Allow yourself to be malleable in the hands of God so that God can begin to do the extraordinary in your little old ordinary life. And I say that lightly. There is nothing little or ordinary about the God that we serve. Love you all. I'll see you next time. And put in the chat the comments, like how you feel about forgiveness. And if any of these things resonated with you, have you been carrying around anger and just unforgiveness because you think that by doing that, you're going to really make somebody do something that you want them to do. And the moment that you leave the room, baby, they ain't even thinking about you. So has this been your story? Has this been something that you have dealt with? Or maybe it's just me. I don't know, but this is the work that God has given me to do. I'm Alycia Johnson, and I'm looking forward to helping you to live an extraordinary life. Love you all.